So morning yogis, it's always lovely to get on my mat with you and just start wherever you want to, lying down or seated. I know some of you can't lie down. A lot of people, lying down actually affects their back even more for any length of time. So sitting can be a bit more comfortable sometimes, but just choosing where you are today. And let's begin with a few deep breaths. Inhale, exhale. Make it a nice noisy sigh. Lovely deep breath in. Sometimes that's really good and therapeutic. Lovely long out breath through the mouth. And whatever you've been dealing with, whatever's come up for you lately, just allow it to be and just breathe. And we always know that our yoga in some way transforms it, shifts. And to take this moment to root, send your energies down into Mother Earth. I like to see this like kind of almost sort of invisible tree roots. You can see it as a lovely red tree root if you want to, coming out from the base of the pelvis or the feet, linked with root chakra. Rainbow roots, however you want to see this, just let these roots sink into earth. And if you like to, you can open up your chakra channel for this practice. We can open root, so imagine a lovely kind of red rose opening. And then sacral orange flower, just opening its petals. And a lovely yellow flower at solar plexus, opening. At the heart, you can think of maybe a pink rose with the green of the stem and leaves opening up. Pale blue flower at the throat, just opening its petals, and then maybe a dark purple indigo flower at your third eye. Even if you can't think of the flower, just think of a flower opening. And then a lovely white rose or lotus at the crown. And I like to also imagine a beautiful ceiling or a beautiful field of white light above us. Universal energy, and you can just allow that white light to start funneling down into your crown and through your chakra channel, almost like a torch beaming down through your body. And then obviously the roots are sunk into the earth and you're just connected from heavens to earth. Lovely, beautiful, open chakra channel, feeling safe and grounded. And a lovely little mantra that I always say to myself, especially before I do Reiki or anything kind of energetic, is give me love, light, healing and protection. And it's just something I always say, lovely little short and sweet. Give me love, light, healing and protection. And you can ask this for your practice as well. So just take a few more deep breaths, feeling into your body, feeling into your emotions and your mind. And then we'll come up to seated, those of you lying down. Have a moment, just hug your knees in, have a little rock. And if you're already seated and you just want to have a little bit of a roll around with the shoulders and flex the back. And just join me in a lovely, comfortable position with our hands in Dhyana Mudra. Pop a blanket over your knees or around your shoulders, whatever you need. And we'll just sit with a mantra today. As I've mentioned, my little mantra that I say to myself, maybe you would like to take one word, Shanti, which means peace, or you can say peace. And we're just going to sit with this word. It might be love, bliss, whatever just resonates today. It won't be the same every time. And we'll just sit with it, breathing with this little mantra or word. So just close the eyes. I'll pop the timer on for 5 minutes and we'll take this lovely quiet practice. Relax. You might have a little mantra that each breath you just say a different word. Whatever you want to do. Keep relaxing. Just staying with your mantra. Just very gently coming back. Just wanted that to be quite a quiet practice for you today rather than me kind of leading or interjecting too much. Notice how that felt. For me, I probably could have sat there for another 10 minutes. I was quite enjoying that. And there'll be times when I do a meditation with you and I'm looking at the clocks, looking at the timer and thinking, goodness, there's loads more time to go. It's so strange how our practice changes each time we do it because we're different, I suppose. Depends what headspace we're in, how we're feeling just generally. So our first pose will be butterfly today. Working with our hips, sacral energy, emotions, relationships, and just going with the flow. I've got a nice little piece of reading to read to you later, which kind of encourages us to tune into our intuition, especially when we're in these poses, and listen to the deeper meaning our body wants to give us, and just going with the flow. So let's just settle into this quite soft pose, supporting where you need to. And maybe just with a few breaths, we can go back to that meditative state. And if you want to carry on the mantra in your mind, please do. It's a lovely way to focus. Relaxing shoulders, neck and upper body. Noticing if you're holding quite a bit of tension in the back. When you let it kind of soften and round, you're aware what you've already been holding. And just gently drawing your breath to your belly. It doesn't have to be forced, but just make it a conscious movement to the belly. And tuning into your intuition, your third eye. In this relaxed state, is there anything your body wants to communicate with you that we may never normally be listening to? Can we tune into our higher self? That place beyond the ego. Enjoying the breath into the belly, the chest and your back. And just noticing if your mind is wandering, what thoughts or guidance is coming through. And gently we'll just take a couple of breaths, enjoying this last few moments in butterfly. Feeling how your lower back feels around your hips and legs, gently lifting up. And find neutral pose. If lying down is too difficult for you, you can always just sit in the meditative position rather than lie down. But sometimes that's what we can do in yin, is skip the lying down and just meditate for that time in between to relax. Take a few breaths. Just notice where it's hard to relax, whether you've got a few like niggles and twinges, and it just takes a little bit of easing into even this lying position. Where are you tense? Where are you holding? And what are you holding? And as you lie here, just again noticing whatever is being inspired to you. Just a little share of what I felt during that particular pose that was coming through to me intuitively was that to find more things to laugh, find things that make me funny and just laugh more. Connect with joy and happiness. So that was what was was being given to me. Notice if anything comes through. So just keep breathing, keep relaxing. You might only just be relaxing now and everything's starting to soften. And we'll just take one more breath here and then we'll draw the knees in. And enjoy a little moment to rock. And just being careful of anything that you're feeling. I'm feeling a little bit of a twinge in the nerves in the lower spine today. So just as I rock here, I feel it, noticing yourself, whatever you're feeling in your body. And then coming up to seated, we're going to come into cocoon. So we've already had the legs sort of knees wide with butterfly, sort of preparing this movement with the hips. And then we'll come into cocoon. So starting with legs out and then left foot into the top right thigh, like head to knee pose. And then just ever so gently coming down. Encouraging a really lovely stretch through the back of our legs now, which stimulates the bladder meridian. If you need support under your knees, either knee, then just pad it out. And then just gradually soften. Get to the point where you're enjoying the stretch and you can feel it, but it's not overly taxing to you. That's 70% of a stretch kind of mark. And just breathing into whatever you're receiving. Lovely soft belly breaths. And just feeling the breath move in and out of the body like a wave coming and going. keep relaxing. After a few minutes, you might find that you can sort of move into the pose a bit more, where everything's kind of softened a bit. What are you feeling? What are you thinking? What's your intuition telling you? Tune into that third eye. How do you like this pose today? Does it feel good? Is it challenging? Or is there something aggravating you here? Just keep following your breath. And as we just take a few more deep breaths here, let's just really feel whatever we feel. Notice how far we've come into this pose. And gently, really nice and slowly, so that you notice everything that releases through your leg, through your hamstring, around the sides of the body, lower back. And then finding a lovely, restful, neutral pose. And even taking your time coming down now, noticing how one thigh feels different from the other. Roll the back down. Relax. Again, it might take a few moments to really allow your body to settle here. So keep just shifting a little until you feel safe enough to let the muscles relax. Notice if your buttocks are tight, or you're tight anywhere through the legs and back. Maybe even the shoulders are raised. And then just bring the breath to the belly. If you need healing anywhere, bring a lovely blue light around and internally to whatever part of the body you need to. And if you like to and you resonate with this, then you can tune into Archangel Raphael, which is very linked with healing. Take a few more breaths. Everything's just starting to soften now. And we'll be curious as to how the other side's going to feel. So hugging in, one leg at a time, right then left, and nice little rock. How's the body feeling now? You're starting to soften a little. And then rolling up. having to be a bit tentative today. I can really feel something being pulled in my back, so you might see me move a little bit odd. Let's come into the other side. So right foot into the top of the left thigh. And ever so gently, just coming down. And you might feel that you don't move as far of this side. Might be a real difference in what your body is allowing you to do. Just go with it. Relax. I think sometimes the body does throw us a little spanner in the works sometimes with us, and so it slows us down, stops us doing what we're usually running around doing, gives us the opportunity to be more observant and relax. So following your breath to your belly. And just noticing if your higher self wants to have a conversation with you. And just keep developing the pose a little bit more if you want to. Noticing if your breath feels quite shallow, or whether you can enjoy some deep breaths. How does this side feel? Is it very similar to the right? Or can you really notice some big differences? Keep moving into the pose if the body is softened enough to allow this. How do you feel? Let's take one more lovely conscious breath here. And really slowly, very consciously, being aware of everything that we're feeling as we lift up and release. and slowly finding that lovely relaxation. Just enjoying the whole process. The restful poses that we take in between each posture, just as important. What we're noticing, what we're feeling as the stretch. Enjoy a lovely sigh on your exhale. You might find that it encourages the softening. And even as you lie here, just notice what you're feeling, whether you're feeling quite content, whether there's a real calmness surrounding your energy. Notice where your energy is, whether you're feeling lethargic or quite buoyant today. Relaxing the lower back a bit more if it's tight. And then we'll hug knees in, just as everything kind of fades away. Be mindful of how this feels as you rock. And if you are noticing any kind of little twinges, what side is it? Is it mainly right or left for you? Okay, so if you grab your straps now, we're going to come into hammock. And we'll start with the right leg. So hook the strap around sort of the ball of your foot on the right side. Pop the strap behind your head, not the neck. I know I always say this, but it's that base of the skull, occipital ridge. The strap will probably cover the tops of your ears, and then you can have either your left leg bent like I've got it, or you can straighten it down. And we can play here. We can push into the foot and enjoy a bit more of a stretch through the back of the neck. Or we can let the head become heavy and we'll feel a bit more sensation around the back of the leg, back of the knee, hamstring. Maybe you can alternate with this little feeling. And just relax your arms, let your shoulders relax. And from this position, we can just see the belly rise and fall as we breathe. How does it feel? Is your foot flexed or are you sort of pointing your toes? Just notice how you come into this pose. Do you feel a lot more sensation in the back of the knee or calf or back of your thigh? How does it feel to push into the foot and get that lovely little, almost a very subtle, gentle tug on the back of the neck? I always feel like it's that last part when you get a massage and somebody comes around the back of your shoulders and your neck and has that lovely little pull on the base of the skull. It always feels lovely. Notice if you're tense in the back of your leg. Just see if you can relax. And still staying with your breath. Often the mind will wander off. And then if you want to, with like a minute or so to go, I quite like to unhook the head and just hold on to the strap and just have a minute or so of just playing with the leg. You can take it out wide. You can feel a lot more in the inner thigh. See how high you can lift your leg. You can take it across your body. It doesn't actually suit me. It actually feels strange in my hip to do that, but just explore moving what feels nice. It feels quite nice just to sort of hold onto the strap and let the leg just hang out to the side. And when you feel it on the inner part of your leg, then we're targeting the liver, kidney and spleen meridians here. Just rotate it around. You can feel your hip move. You can bend into your knee a bit more. And then when you're ready, you can just gently lower your foot down. You can swap feet now if you want to, or just do it in a moment. Let's just relax and feel. What are you holding in your back muscles? Does your back feel relaxed, or does it feel like it's arching away from the mat? Enjoying soft belly breaths. Really feeling the difference between your legs. Your right one probably feels quite active and the left one a little bit numb. So we'll come into the other side. And just getting into this pose in whatever way you can. Again, not round the neck. How does it feel? You can play with having a little bit of a push through your foot and then letting the head be heavy. Is there a tightness in your abdomen? Or can you breathe fully? I always notice that this leg tends to have a little bit of a shake when I do it this side. So I'm wondering if you have any differences. Maybe you like to close your eyes as well And just allow yourself to feel a bit more deeply. What's going through your mind right now? How are you feeling in this pose? And if at any time you need or want to come out, then please do. Just checking in with whether you've tensed your abdomen, whether it's still nice and relaxed as you breathe. And then let's just unhook if you want to, and you can have a nice little play with this side. Noticing what mobility you have, where it starts to feel a bit strange if you move the leg across. Just being curious about your body. We so often take it for granted. And just exploring how it feels to move very consciously here. And then we'll just gently lower down. And you can just leave that strap somewhere to the side and find your neutral pose. Lovely tingling feeling perhaps through the back of your leg. Notice where that tingle extends down into your foot. And then when you're ready, let's hug in. We're going to come into the last pose now, where we've been quite forward with the body in all of these poses. We're going to have bench, so a lovely relaxing, nurturing pose. You'll just need a little cushion. This is a lovely pose to just end with. I think we all like this one. So we'll take 5 minutes, popping that cushion wherever you want to. I always take it a few inches from the body just so that you get more stretch through the upper part of the spine. And just rolling the head back. If you need a little bit of support behind your head and neck, perhaps a block or a rolled blanket. And relax. Lovely for the heart centre and your throat. Relax through your buttocks and legs all the way down to your ankles. And just enjoy feeling supported. Even in this pose, try and look for tension that you might be holding. Maybe the back of your neck and your face. And again, aware of whether your breath is very shallow or half breath. And just bringing it to the belly. Relaxing your wrists, hands, forearms. Following your breath. Keep relaxing just in case some tension's just found its way back in. And then ever so gently we'll lift up slowly, head first. Gently pull the cushion away and come down. How do you feel in your body right now? Notice if there's any words that just come to your mind. Still enjoying thinking about a lovely blue light all over your body, healing blue. And then in your own time, just choosing where you want to relax, lie down or seated. Have a little rock, perhaps massage your back. just coming into whatever position feels right for you. So I've got this lovely little book which has many interesting things just to kind of end yoga. So I'm just going to read this to you. Just relax, get yourself warm. And this is called A Wise Being Lives Inside You by Shakti Gawain. There is a wise being that lives inside you. It is your intuitive self. Focus your awareness into a deep place in your body, a place where your gut feelings reside. You can communicate with it by silently talking to it, making questions or making requests or asking questions. Then relax, don't think too hard with your mind, and be open to receiving answers. They are usually simple and relate to the present moment, not to the past or future, and they feel right. Through the messages of the intuitive self may come through a bit at a time. If we learn to follow the supply of information piece by piece, the necessary course of action will unfold. As we learn to rely on this guidance, life takes on a flowing, effortless quality. Our life, feelings, and actions interweave harmoniously with those of others around us. Trust the deepest feelings that you get and act on them. If they are truly from your intuition, you will find that they lead you to feeling a greater aliveness and power, and more opportunities will begin to open. If you don't feel more alive and empowered, you may not have been truly acting from the intuition, but from the ego voice in you. The ego seeks what it knows, the familiar, the unchangeable. Often is based on fear. On the other hand, your intuition never comes from feelings of fear. Go back and ask for clarification and trust your intuition to give you direction. We strive so hard to make our lives the way we want them to be. As you begin this day, imagine that you can give up struggling for the whole day. Relax for a while and trust that your needs will be met by the natural flow of life. The philosophy of being here, now, and letting go of attachment is a freeing experience. When you do this, you discover you're really perfectly okay. In fact, you feel quite wonderful. You can just let yourself be, let the world be, and give up the struggling of trying to change things. So quite a long passage there about opening to our intuition, going with the flow. Just have a moment now. Noticing how you're feeling as you sit or lie there. And whether you have had any lovely divine downloads, as I like to call them. Perhaps you just see colour in your mind, or there's just a feeling that surrounds you. Gently, just breathe a few times nice and deeply into the belly. And you can begin to just wiggle fingers and toes. Physical movement back into the body as we come back into our day. Roll the shoulders if you're seated. And you can start to hug the knees in. Whatever movement feels nice. And just notice how connected you feel to yourself, and whether that stays with you for part of your day, whether you lose that kind of deep conscious connection, and then how quickly it can come back if there are other things that you do throughout your day. A moment of gratitude, just standing there at the kitchen sink, looking out the window if you have one, and appreciating something can sort of really draw you back into that connection to self. Simple things. Looking at a little bird or a robin might just bring a nice little smile to your face. So, just coming to seated, bringing hands to heart center. Om Shanti. Namaste.